Hello, it's Philip Taylor speaking from Richmond Green Chambers. This morning I'm looking at a book from Elgar Publishing Limited. They're an independent family business of publishers specialising in fairly substantial, well-researched academic publications. Always of good quality for the academic community, certainly, and also for practitioners and people with a general interest in a particular area. The book I'm looking at this morning is Criminal Enforcement of Intellectual Property. An important area for artists and all sorts of other people. It's got a subtitle, Handbook of Contemporary Research, because, as I say, they're very much into the research in the academic area. It's been edited by Christophe Geiger, and we've given it a title, A Broad and Scholarly Survey of the Upsurge in the Criminal Enforcement of Intellectual Property Rights. This is the book here. It's the front cover, the spine, and you can see the back there. It's a heavy book actually for what it is. What we've got, let me just take that out, what we do have is a useful index there, and we have, as you can see here, a paragraph numbering on this occasion, which is useful, and footnotes. Again, extremely useful, bearing in mind the structure. So what you've got is a standard introduction, the main bit, and then what they do with these books is you then have a conclusion, which is at the back. So it follows a nice logical structure. There's the start of the book there, counterfeiting, all this sort of area of stuff, and the various issues to go with it. Then you've got various figures and tables, and you've got the list of contributors, because there are a lot of people who've contributed to this excellent publication. One thing that will be important, anything to do with IP, you always need to have abbreviations explained. And then do read Mr. Geiger's introduction, which I think is very helpful because it sets the scene for what is an important area of law, and one which is increasingly important for a lot of people. We've written a review on the web, which is quite detailed, so I'm just going to take some highlights from it. As the theft of IP, namely counterfeiting, is in fact theft pure and simple, in the opinion of most, the title of this book is not surprising, and neither should a criminal enforcement of what is actually a crime be considered unusual, where you get into all sorts of difficult areas, both with national and international criminal matters. The editor, Mr. Christophe Geiger, however, describes such enforcement as delicate and admits that heretofore it is an area of study that has been rather neglected by scholars. The application of criminal penalties to the infringement of intellectual property rights has always been a debated issue, he says. Now, Geiger admits that criminal enforcement provisions differ significantly in the various national legislations, which, depending on the cultural norms involved, apply different parameters and standards to definitions of intellectual property, what it actually is, and to definitions of what we mean by infringement, with the result that there is little consistency internationally in IP law, law as such. The book is a compilation of 19 learned articles and essays, and as I said, it's of a very high academic standard, and at least 6 of the top scholars have come from the Max Planck Institute for Intellectual Property and Competition Law in Munich. The book, in other words, contains the combined expertise of acknowledged experts in this field from a variety of countries, sectors and jurisdictions, so it could be said to overlap with other areas, including comparative law. Let me conclude by saying it's extensively footnoted, as to be expected, with a very useful index. The book would also be of interest, we think, to those seeking further insights into IP law and additionally criminal law, competition law and consumer law from an international perspective. So thank you to Mr. Geiger and to Elgar for another excellent contribution to the continuing debate in this area. Thank you. Bye-bye.